Hello there. It's your brand buddy Patrick Sesko, and it's Tuesday at 11 a.m. And that means it's time for another episode of Brand Marks the Spot. And in today's episode, we are going to be talking about harnessing the power of color to grow your business and build your brand, right? But before we get started, today's episode is brought to you by my Nail Your Brand Colors and Fonts workshop. And this is a workshop where you're going to discover how to build trust and instant credibility in your business and attract more of your ideal customers so you can finally create your consistent visual brand. Um, eh, eh, uh, Visual brand so that way you can show up with more confidence in your business, even if you don't know where to start and without any of the tech overwhelm or having to hire a designer. So these are the brand foundational things that I teach in this workshop. It's about a 90-minute workshop. It's live. You get access to me, and I'm going to be launching that here in the coming weeks. But for now, I want you to get on the wait list at patricksesko.com/waitlist. Because if you are in fact on my wait list, you will definitely get a coupon code for the workshop, and only those that are on the wait list will get that. So you'll even save a few extra dollars on that, and I'll let you know when it becomes live. So that's what we got there. So now let's get on with the show. Now today we are going to be talking about the power of color in your brand. And, branding is, or color in branding is such a integral part of branding that a lot of times it's almost hidden. Like you don't really focus on the colors, right? Because when you're putting your stuff out there, your brand needs to be exposed to your audience at a minimum, very minimum, 5 to 7 times in order for them to actually begin to remember the brand. So when you're consistent with those colors and fonts and design elements in general, you're going to have more impact on the rememberability of your brand. So let's see, let me pop this on here. So brand colors can increase your brand recognition by 80%. So just a few stats here. And when you consistently show your brand across all platforms consistently, it can increase your revenues by up to 23%, right? And your audience will have to be exposed, like I said, a minimum of 5 to 7 times before they remember your brand. So this is exactly why consistency is key. So color, as I said, can be very powerful. Let me see if I can come on screen here. Boom, boom. There we go. So color is very powerful, as you know. And even in our everyday lives, you think stop signs are red, traffic lights, red, yellow, and green. Caution cones are yellow. There's yellow lines on the middle of the road. You wear white at white at weddings, not at funerals. Typically darker colors at funerals, all those things, right? And so you can see how color can be powerful in your branding as well. So when you have some strategically chosen colors in your brand, it can help shape the perception and emotional connection to the brands we use and the connection to the audience that we are showing it to. So and all the things that we interact with every day. So how powerful is branding? Well, let's play a little game here, because I'm going to basically demonstrate the power of branding, and I'm going to say a company name or a color, and you're going to guess what color or company is associated with that. So I'll start off with Tiffany. So when I say Tiffany, the jewelry company store, what color comes to mind? And if you have been on this planet for any amount of time, you will see that the Tiffany blue or the turquoise is their brand color. The box that they have is very iconic. And even if the logo wasn't on the box, you would instantly know what that is, because they have put so much time and energy behind their brand and how they put it out into the world. So that's the signature teal. And it is actually known as Tiffany blue, and they actually own the trademark of that color formula. And this is an example of a company owning a color in branding. So things like if you're talking about the soda wars, Coke versus Pepsi, Coke owns red, Pepsi owns the blue, right? In the big box stores, like Target owns red, Walmart owns blue. Now, if Walmart decided that their color was going to be red, that's going to cause confusion in that space, right? Another space, so like hardware stores, Home Depot's orange, Lowe's is blue. So they're always going, you're rarely going to find the same color for these big name brands that are going to own those colors in those markets. So let's go on to the next one. What can brown do for you? So can you guess what company that's for? If you've guessed UPS, you are correct. So not only does UPS own brown in the space of, quick delivery parcels, their vehicles are brown, their uniforms are brown, and all of these things are sort of iconic brand elements. Even the shape of the trucks are very iconic. So all of these things together are super powerful. And it's even been used as a, if you ever watch King of Queens, Doug has the brown uniform, even though it's not UPS, it's a parody of that, but you get the picture. That's the iconic impact that it has with the colors that they use in their branding. Next one up, Little Blue Pill. I think we all know what that one. It shouldn't be too hard to guess. And that is Viagra. And hopefully I don't ever have to watch another one of those cheesy commercials where they show the guy throwing the football through the tire swing or something, some cheesy metaphor for that. All right, I crack myself up. I love it. Next one up. Can you guess what company this color palette is for? If you've guessed Google, you would be correct. So as you can see, these colors, it can be a very powerful tool in branding. And that's why it's so important to stay consistent with your colors. So like, looking at the real world. So what if, stop signs started to become green? Or what if caution cones were just white or gray, or yield signs were just white, all of those things. What if they painted the yellow lines on a road? What if they painted them gray? You wouldn't be able to see them. So it's like all of these things that we kind of take for granted in everyday life when it comes to color. So that's how important it is. Now, if you're like me, we don't have the luxury of multi-million-dollar budgets yet for, to get our branding out there, but color can still have a similar impact on our smaller scale audiences. So it's something to think about, and it's something to think about strategically when you are building your brand. Now, just a little side note, when you select your color palettes and when you're building that, branding is an evolutionary process. It's not just you do it and then it's done in perpetuity, right? You may have to change based on the market. You may have to change based on, maybe you change your offer and your audience changes. So maybe your colors and your fonts and your look and feel might change to go with that. So those are things to think about. So even if you have a color palette now that may not be effective, you can change that. You're not stuck with it. But again, you don't want to just change it for the sake of changing it. You want to change it because there's a strategy behind it, or your audience has changed, or your offers changed, or the market's changed. So think about that, right? So color can affect mood. It can influence behavior, even physiologically, right? Not just emotionally, but physiologically. It can cause a physical reaction. So for instance, did you know that yellows and reds actually stimulate appetite? And you'll find that it is no coincidence that most fast food restaurants, and just restaurants in general, you'll end up seeing a lot of yellows and reds in their logos and in their branding, because it causes a physiological reaction unbeknownst to us, right? So you're driving by the McDonald's, you're like, oh, golden arches. Golden, that's a color, right? Golden arches, right? Ah, the fries. You just think about it and you start to I'm salivating right now because I'm getting hungry. It's almost lunch. But you get the idea, right? So you'll never be able to look at that without knowing that again. It's like you can't unsee it. So hopefully I didn't ruin that for you. So as you can see, different colors can have different meanings and personalities of their own. And when you're selecting your brand colors for your business, you want to understand